Coming up next weekend, of course, the Network Q RAC Rally. It's back in the World Championship, and of course Colin McRae has got the chance of wresting the world title from the reigning champion Tommy Mackinnon. Tommy Mackinnon certainly starts the favourite, however, and we've had the rare opportunity to look around Rallyart here in Rugby, where his cars are prepared. No media have ever been inside this building before.
Doing an activity like this is a bit of a new departure for us. We're a small company and our brief is primarily to develop, build and run the rally cars on the World Rally Championship. The Rallyart logo, you'll see it on some of the service vans and the team clothing, is the spirit of competition, and basically that is Mitsubishi's philosophy as far as motorsport is concerned. They want to participate. Winning is not the be-all and end-all. Of course, success is very nice when we get it, but the main thing is that we're present and taking part. And that is in some way reflected in the Group N car that Mitsubishi produced. It's a very successful car, and it enables a lot of private entrants, dealer teams and so on around the world to participate. Mitsubishi's involvement in the World Championship is quite long, although until recently it's only been a partial involvement. But as the Asia Pacific Championship rose to prominence, so the company was encouraged by success in that area, and that enabled us to become fully involved in the World Championship, to the extent that in 1996 we participated on all 9 rounds. And as you know, this year there were 14 rounds and we've managed a full participation on that. We were able to give Tommy Mackinnon 14 rounds this year. Richard had 8 and has performed very creditably on those events. We do have a future commitment to World Rally Championship, and during 1998 we will at some point be running an Evolution 5, which is the development of the present car.
Well, Richard Burns, you're looking at the car you're going to be driving on the Network Q RAC. It's actually Tommy's old Thousand Lakes car, so it's a car which has won. What really is your strategy for the RAC? Because obviously you've got to support Tommy.
Yeah, well, I think everyone's got the same strategy for the RAC. Everybody has to go flat out and try and win. It's crucial, really, from my point of view, that I try and stop Colin winning. If he wins, then Tommy's got to finish in the top 6, and although that's not too difficult an achievement for him to gain, but it's not pressure that you need. You know, he still has to finish. So we're going to try and stop Colin winning, basically.
You've had an absolutely brilliant season, haven't you? I mean, you've really come of age as a top international star this year.
Yeah, we haven't unfortunately done all of the rallies, but the 7 events we've done up to now, I've finished in the top 4 on every one that we've finished. So it's been an excellent year. It's been an excellent year for the team as well, with Tommy obviously very much the favourite to win the Drivers' World Championship. But from my point of view, we've been up on every rally, challenging virtually for the lead on each one, and we were very, very unlucky not to win the New Zealand rally. It's been an excellent year, and hopefully it's going to carry on.
Obviously, if Tommy drops out, you'll be going for absolute victory.
Yeah, but even if Tommy doesn't drop out, then there's no reason for the team to stop me coming in front of him, because at the moment he's 10 points clear. If Colin wins, that's going to put them on equal points, so Tommy has to get that 1 point for 6th place. So really there's no, unless I'm 6th and Tommy's 7th, which is a pretty unlikely occurrence I hope, then there shouldn't be any need for team orders, so the only order for me is to go flat out.
How do you look at this year's RAC Rally? It's completely different, a shorter rally of course, and Sunday suddenly becomes quite important.
Yeah, well, Sunday's always been fairly important in that it's an easy place to make a mistake, but now the stages are actually quite good. There's only a couple of stages that are in stately homes in Blenheim Palace and Woburn Abbey, and the others are specifically made for us really, for the rally. They're a bit less dangerous, less risky. You've got stages at Silverstone and Donington, which are actually going to be quite enjoyable for us. So it will definitely be flat out from the word go, and hopefully not too many places to make a mistake on the first day.
What about the final day stages, which haven't been used much in international rallying recently in the southern part of Wales?
Well, every stage is going to be crucial. It's new. Those stages I haven't done since probably 1992. and then it was blind and in a completely different car. Very, very different. But it's the same for everyone. Colin's been there probably 6 or 7 years ago, but no one else has been there for maybe 10 years, if at all. But everybody now is so good and so proficient at making good pace notes that it's really not going to make a huge difference between the top drivers, the fact that we've been there before.
How do you manage to do that? Because you do go through the forest really quite slowly. How do you manage to put your mind up about 3 gears?
Well, it's obviously a lot comes with experience. All the rallies are pace notes, so every single event we do, we're doing 4 days practice for, and obviously experience counts. You do have to imagine what speed you are going to be doing, and sometimes that is quite difficult, especially if it's a bit foggy. If vision's bad during the recce and then it's not so bad during the rally, then you can find that you've actually picked out things that aren't there when you're going quite quick. But well, it's the same problem for everybody.
And some of the better known stages in Wales, do you remember any of the bits of track, or is that just not a possibility?
Yeah, you remember more the character of the stages and you know, what sort of tyre to choose and how it was a couple of years ago. It has been 2 years since any of the World Championship guys have been there, but it certainly helps to be a little bit familiar with those stages.
Richard, we've been walking around Mitsubishi Ralliart here, which is a rare experience because they don't normally let the media in. It's very impressive how every final detail is covered. It has blown my mind, actually.
Well, I mean, it has to be. There's no room for error, no margin for error at all in World Championship rallying, especially you consider the last sort of 3 or 4 events have all been decided by a matter of 5, 6, 7 seconds after 3 days rallying. The guys here are extremely proficient, and although there's only probably 50 guys working full time here, compared to maybe 200 or 300 at Pro Drive for Subaru and similar with Ford and Toyota, the guys really do pull together, and they make a very, very big effort, and it's come together this year, as you can see, with Tommy leading the World Championship, and every rally we go to, we're in with a chance of winning. So the guys really do work like hell, and it pays off.
You're getting ready for the Network Q RAC Rally. This is a very important event for you, isn't it? Because Tommy Mäkinen could win that title a second time. In fact, he's the favourite.
Well, indeed, it's very important, and I think probably I feel that we're under more pressure now than we've ever been. We've only got to score 1 point, but that 1 point can be so elusive. You know, we've got to check every nut and bolt very carefully. That's only, of course, if Colin McRae wins, then we must score 1 point. If Colin McRae doesn't win, then the championship's ours.
You're a Scot, any divided loyalties here?
Well, I suppose so, but I know Colin and the McRae family very well. I've known them all their driving careers, and you know, we're great friends, but when it comes down to winning the championship for Mitsubishi, I'm afraid I've got to forget all that.
Because your relationship with Mitsubishi goes back many, many years as a driver, I think right back into the early 70s. Just outline that a little bit.
Yeah, in 1971 I met the Mitsubishi people in Australia. I was driving actually for British Leyland, driving a Mini in the Southern Cross Rally, and these Mitsubishi cars, they went very well. None of them finished, and at a barbecue after the rally I said to one of the Japanese people I was introduced to, you know, if you want to win the rally you better employ me next year, and joking of course, and they in fact did, and we won the rally in 1972, and I've done something for them every year since.
Well, this year's RAC Rally route is the shortest ever, but it is a very intense route indeed. Remember last year the event wasn't in the full World Championship, but it started on Saturday. Well, that was just an experiment. The first day, Sunday, it all is based at Cheltenham Racecourse, and there's a very interesting stage at Cheltenham, well worth watching, and then heading off into the stately homes and race circuits of the Midlands. Donington's there, of course, but so too are 2 sections at Silverstone, their new rally sprint course being used, as well as another special stage which uses the race circuit. Now, Silverstone is completely sold out. Don't try and go there, but Donington, that should supply some very good viewing indeed. Then it's all back to Cheltenham at the end of Sunday. Monday is going to be a very busy day. The classic mid-Wales forests, places like Garthiniog, Pamperthog, Dovey. Those are the stages which are going to provide some of the meat of the rally. Back again then on Monday night at Cheltenham Racecourse, the final stage of the day there, then out on Tuesday for some very testing stages in South Wales. Now, these stages haven't been used on an international rally for some 7 or 8 years. They're going to be new to a lot of the rally drivers, but it's almost certainly where the rally and probably the World Championship is going to be decided. So a short rally, but a sharp rally, full of great action. Well, earlier today, as you saw, Mitsubishi opened the doors for the first time of their rally factory. The Subaru, not to be outdone, are actually allowing us to open the doors of their rally car. I'm going to climb aboard the Impreza now and have what I think is going to be an absolutely staggering ride with Kenneth Eriksson. Let's go. Okay, well, the door's just been slammed, and we're just moving off backwards with Kenneth Eriksson here. And Kenneth, you said just before we climbed aboard, this is actually quite an interesting little stage here and very slippy.
It is slippy in places due to that it's concrete and you have mud on top, so it's very, very difficult. It's like driving on ice without studs, so it's difficult.
Now just take us through some of the specs. Some rally cars now have sequential gearbox, but this doesn't have that, does it?
This doesn't have that, no. This has a normal 6-speed gearbox like in a normal car.
Right, well, we're gonna, I don't know if anybody's giving us a countdown or if we're just gonna go when we feel like it.
Okay, we go then.
Right, go for it. So this is the amazing thing about a rally car, is the absolutely fantastic acceleration. Kenneth flinging it around that 90 right here, the car ducking and diving, bouncing over this gravel track here at Grand True, and we're probably up to about 100 miles an hour now, and we've got a 90 right, and then it goes downhill. The braking is astronomical. Back end spews out those very special smells in a rally car. We're going through a big water splash now, through the water splash. Kenneth grabbing at the gears, goes up another gear. The ride actually is quite remarkably smooth when you consider the track and the speed we're going. And now into another 90 right. And this is fairly typical of some of the stations. Very muddy and chewed up here. Now we go out into an open section and another 90 right. Just see the phenomenal lighting you get. Kenneth just cutting the corner a little bit there. And now flinging it left in front of that fire.
Very slippery here, this corner. Very like on ice.
Just describe a little bit what you're doing then, Kenneth, if you can, while he's still driving.
Trying to keep the car on the track here is very difficult because we have concrete with mud on top and it's so slippery, it's like on ice some places here.
Very close to that gate post just a couple of moments ago.
I know, here is a slippery corner as well. The exit is very slippery here.
Yeah, the car well out of shape then. The fantastic four-wheel drive traction again. The braking is the thing that is just astronomical. Now this is what we call in rallying a natchery little spot here. You see some logs on the right. Kenneth again going up through the gearbox. Into, what's that, 4th, 5th, Kenneth, and then all the way down the box.
Very slippery corner again on top.
Another gate post here, nice through there. Kenneth, what about rallying at night? How do you find that?
It's okay, so long you don't have fog. If it's fog, it's very difficult, you see.
Yeah.
Of course, rallying in daytime is maybe more fun for the spectators. They can see the car, but that has some charming also to drive in nighttime, you know. Especially when we had such a good light as we have today.
And there, of course, we had a big change in surface off the concrete and onto this rather cut up, well, mud and gravel.
Coming into a very fast section again here.
Again, all the time the car dances about. Tremendous grip from these Pirelli tyres. Through the water splash again. All the time you can feel the jolts through your back. Just a bit of steam coming from the exhaust system after that water splash. Now coming towards the end of the stage, and didn't have a watch with us, but that was a pretty quick run. Kenneth, that was absolutely sensational. Thank you very much. That was most enjoyable. Obviously that wasn't 10 tenths. What was that? Sort of 6 tenths.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, see your chest not pumping that hard, but
no.
Still it was a very nice run. Thank you very much. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Colin, really only one option for you on the RAC, just go for it and try and win and try and get Tommy to fall off, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, I can't do anything about Tommy, but I can certainly try and win, and that's what I'm going to do.
What do you think about this year's short and sharp RAC? Rather a different route.
Yeah, it is, and you know, for us it's definitely in favour. When you've got 14 rallies to do in a year, you need them to be a lot shorter than they were in the past. Okay, I mean, it would be nice to come back and do the RAC as it was of old, but yeah, if you're doing 14 rallies, you don't have the time to physically get them all in.
It's short, but it's fairly intense. You look at the way the stages, you know, you're into stages very quickly, one after another.
Yeah, and that's, from a driver's point of view, that's good. It really keeps you on the boil. I mean, the worst thing is to have a couple of stages and then have a 50-kilometre transport section. So it's good, certainly for me, and all the other drivers agree with that as well.
Now, the first day you always used to say, well, that was the one that didn't really matter. You could lose the rally, but you couldn't win it. But with such a short rally and longer stately home stages and Silverstone, that takes on a new importance.
Yeah, the RAC have done well. I mean, everybody used to hate the first day. It was real Mickey Mouse, but they have worked at it over the years, and it'll be interesting this year just to see how the Silverstone and the Donington stages are. And as you say, they are a bit longer. It's something you can get your teeth into.
Now, obviously, very much a family affair, the RAC. Your dad's making a comeback as a works driver. How much do you know about that?
No, an awful lot. I heard just before Rally Australia, so good on him. He just can't let it go.
And then, of course, your brother, obviously very unlucky not to win the British Championship this year. What's his chances, you think?
I think very good. He was going very well in Australia against Robin Perra. Obviously the car's still under development. It's a small team and a lower budget compared to what Seat have and some of the other World Championship teams, but they've done a great job, and you know, Alistair is one of the quickest drivers in the UK, and if you're quick in the UK, then you're quick in the world. Well, after that great ride with Kenneth Eriksson, I've come to see what it looks like from the outside, and here comes Kenneth through the water. God, we got absolutely covered there in the mud. Well, that's rallying for you. Really has been a tremendous evening here at Subaru with the 555 and the Pro Drive people. The RAC Rally is going to be a great event. Of course, as well as Subaru and Mitsubishi, who we talked to earlier, don't forget we're going to see the brand new Toyota, their new rally car, running in Britain for the first time. And also we can't count out Ford, as well as Carlos Sainz and Juha Kankkunen. Remember that Ari Vatanen is also running in the rally. It'll be very interesting to see how Ari gets on. Of course, for you English fans, we've got all the Formula 2 runners that we've seen regularly in the Mobil 1 British Rally Championship. Alistair McRae, of course, and also it'll be very interesting to see how Seat get on with their new drivers, with Gwyndaf Evans and David Higgins. Also, I suspect the British drivers will go very well in the Production Cup. Watch out for people like Julian Porter. He could go well in his Mitsubishi, and quite a lot of other quick runners. Jeremy Eason's another one I think could be very successful in Group N after his great result last year. So a superb RAC rally coming up. That's it for the show this week.